In recent years, the conversation around environmental sustainability has been dominated by two pressing issues: plastic pollution and climate change. Though they are often treated as separate challenges, there is a growing recognition that the two are intricately linked. So in this video, we will discuss the plastic problem and climate change and how are they connected. So before moving forward, please like this video and subscribe to this channel for future updates. Understanding the plastic problem. Plastic has become an undeniable part of modern life. From the packaging of our food to the products we use daily, plastic is everywhere. However, the very qualities that make plastic so convenient, its durability, versatility, and low cost, are the same qualities that make it an environmental nightmare. Most plastics are not biodegradable and can take hundreds of years to break down. Instead, plastic waste accumulates in landfills, in the ocean, and in the air, causing harm to wildlife and ecosystems. Every year, millions of tons of plastic enter the oceans, where it kills marine life, damages coral reefs, and disrupts entire ecosystems. But the environmental impact of plastic doesn't stop there. The production and disposal of plastic also contribute significantly to climate change, making it a more urgent problem than it may initially appear. The role of plastics in the carbon economy. One often overlooked aspect of the plastic problem is its role in the broader carbon economy. While we typically think of plastics as disposable objects, they are, in fact, embedded in the global supply chains of many industries, especially the energy sector. From the fuel pipelines that carry oil and gas to the construction of energy infrastructure, plastics are deeply integrated into the systems that drive fossil fuel consumption. The circular economy. Turning the tide on plastic and climate change. In the face of plastic pollution and climate change, the concept of a circular economy offers a beacon of hope. Instead of the traditional take, make, dispose model, where plastic is manufactured, used, and discarded, a circular economy advocates for the continuous reuse, recycling, and repurposing of materials. For plastics, this could mean transitioning from a linear, wasteful system to one where plastic materials are endlessly recycled, reducing the need for new plastic production and mitigating the harmful environmental impacts. In this ideal system, plastics wouldn't be seen as waste, but as a valuable resource, one that, when managed properly, could help reduce carbon emissions and lessen the burden on the planet. The link between plastic and climate change. At first glance, it might not seem like plastic pollution has much to do with global warming. After all, plastic is a solid waste, while climate change is primarily driven by gases like carbon dioxide. However, the connection runs deeper than it appears. 1. The carbon footprint of plastic production. The first and most direct link between plastic and climate change is the carbon footprint of plastic production. Plastics are derived from petroleum and natural gas, fossil fuels that are responsible for a large portion of global greenhouse gas emissions. In fact, the production of plastic is estimated to account for around 4 to 8% of global oil consumption. The extraction, refining, and transportation of these fossil fuels for plastic production requires significant energy and result in the release of large amounts of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Furthermore, the process of turning raw fossil fuels into plastic products, whether through molding, extruding, or other manufacturing processes, requires heat and energy, which often come from burning more fossil fuels. This cycle of extraction, production, and energy consumption makes plastic a significant driver of climate change. 2. Emissions from plastic waste. Once plastic is produced and used, its role in climate change continues. When plastic waste ends up in landfills, it doesn't just sit there harmlessly. Over time, it can break down into smaller particles called microplastics, which can release methane, a potent greenhouse gas, into the atmosphere. Methane is much more effective at trapping heat than carbon dioxide, making its presence in the atmosphere a significant contributor to global warming. Even when plastic is burned as a form of waste disposal, it releases toxic chemicals and greenhouse gases, including carbon dioxide, dioxins, and furans, which contribute to air pollution and exacerbate climate change. 3. The oceanic feedback loop. One of the most troubling aspects of the plastic problem is its impact on the oceans. Oceans not only absorb a significant portion of the world's carbon emissions, but also play a crucial role in regulating global temperatures. However, plastic pollution interferes with the ocean's ability to perform this function effectively. Plastic debris in the ocean can damage marine ecosystems that are essential for carbon sequestration. such as coral reefs and seagrasses. In some cases, plastic waste can also hinder the ocean's ability to absorb CO2 by affecting plankton populations, which are responsible for a large portion of carbon capture. This creates a dangerous feedback loop. As plastic continues to pollute our oceans, it diminishes the ocean's capacity to help combat climate change. The consequences of inaction. The connection between plastic pollution and climate change is clear, but the consequences of inaction are even more so. If we fail to address the plastic problem, we will not only continue to pollute our environment and harm wildlife, but also make it much harder to mitigate the effects of climate change. The wastefulness of a plastic-dependent society means more energy consumption, more carbon emissions, and a greater strain on natural resources. If the global plastic production and waste crisis are left unchecked, the world will struggle to meet climate targets, such as those set in the Paris Agreement. Rising global temperatures, extreme weather events, and loss of biodiversity are just the beginning. The reality is, plastic and climate change are intertwined, and solving one will require tackling both. Solutions: addressing the dual crisis. The good news is that there are tangible actions we can take to address both plastic pollution and climate change simultaneously. These solutions involve a combination of systemic change, technological innovation, and individual responsibility. 1. Reducing plastic production and consumption. The most effective way to reduce the impact of plastic on climate change is by decreasing the amount of plastic produced and consumed. This requires a shift in both consumer behavior and corporate practices. People can reduce their plastic footprint by opting for reusable products, choosing plastic-free alternatives, and supporting brands that prioritize sustainable packaging. Governments can implement policies to regulate plastic production, such as bans on single-use plastics, incentives for using biodegradable materials, and investment in recycling infrastructure. 2. Improving waste management and recycling. One of the key challenges of plastic waste is that it is often not properly disposed of or recycled. Global recycling rates for plastic are dismally low. Estimates suggest that only about 9% of plastic waste is actually recycled. Improving waste management systems, increasing recycling rates, and encouraging the development of circular economies where plastic materials are reused and repurposed are essential steps in combating plastic pollution. 3. Developing sustainable alternatives. Innovation plays a vital role in addressing both the plastic crisis and climate change. Scientists and entrepreneurs are developing sustainable alternatives to conventional plastic materials. Biodegradable plastics, plant-based packaging, and materials made from algae or fungi offer hope for reducing the environmental impact of plastic. Governments and businesses can invest in research and development to accelerate the adoption of these alternatives. 4. Protecting and restoring ecosystems. Efforts to address plastic pollution and climate change must also focus on protecting and restoring ecosystems. The health of forests, wetlands, and oceans is critical to both reducing plastic waste and mitigating climate change. By preserving these ecosystems, we can ensure they continue to absorb carbon and protect biodiversity while reducing the amount of plastic waste that ends up in our natural environments. Conclusion. In conclusion, the plastic problem and climate change are two sides of the same environmental coin. Plastic pollution contributes to the worsening of climate change, and the effects of climate change further exacerbate the plastic crisis. To create a sustainable future, we must tackle both problems in tandem. This requires coordinated global action, including reducing plastic production, improving waste management, developing sustainable alternatives, and investing in ecosystem restoration. By understanding the interconnectedness of these issues, we can forge solutions that not only address plastic pollution, but also help combat the growing climate crisis. The time to act is now. Our planet's future depends on it. So this is our today's video. If you like our video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel or hit the bell icon. We will meet again with another interesting topic. Till then, stay safe and stay happy.